Welcome to the Bible Momming Podcast, where we are parenting by the book. I'm your host, Paula Whidden. This podcast is for women who struggle with regular mom stuff, but also long to have their kids grow closer to Christ. It's a lifetime journey, and we're in it together. As a real mom, you just never know where I'll be podcasting from, but I'll always be available for you. Now let's get started. Hello, mamas. Today we are talking about Christmas. This is one of those episodes that is recommended not to have the kiddos around because we are getting frank and honest mama style about a lot of things related to Christmas, including Santa, decorations, traditions, all that kind of stuff. I have on the show today two of my friends, Val and Jenna. Val is in Wisconsin, and you have heard from her previously. Jenna is in Los Angeles County, and both of them are pastors' wives with two kids each. Val has a kindergartner and a preschooler. Jenna has a preschooler and a toddler, and they are trying to figure out Christmas right alongside all you guys as we talk about it in detail together. Please join us and understand that as we are talking, our kiddos are in the background, the dogs are getting around us, somebody was playing with somebody's necklace, so there are a few little extra background noises, but the conversation is worth checking into. You're going to hear some things you will not expect. Let me just say, The Godfather comes up in this conversation, as does the value of guacamole at Christmas time. So stick around and hear what we've got for you. Now, are you girls decorators? Do you guys get into the decorating big time?
Yes, I do.
I try so hard, and it's just like, it doesn't come natural, but I definitely try.
I'm like that too, Jenna. It doesn't come natural for me.
Well, especially with toddlers too, and their age, and you're like, okay, what can I put and where can I put it where it's going to stay out of reach?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now,
oh my goodness.
And Jenna, I got to tell you, it's so funny with toddlers. I went through a whole stage of oh my goodness, I can't put out the glass ornaments.
Yes.
And I was looking things up on different venues and whatever. And I'm sure Pinterest has gazillion things, but I was looking up, I found this thing where you can do, what are they called? Pipe cleaners, where you do intertwine a bunch of white pipe cleaners and kind of make them look snowball-ish. And no joke, one of our ways of decorating, this is how fancy we are in our family, Val. I had the kids throw those suckers at the tree and then see what stuck. And then of course, because they're all clustered, when they were asleep, I spread them out and they didn't know the difference. But we actually still have some of those, and the girls are, Rachel's 18 now, so we still have some of those in our box of decorations just because it's a fond memory.
Oh, I love
it. So they were involved because I didn't want them to hang things. I didn't want them touching the pokey things or whatever, Plus, if they tried to grab a branch, they were going to pull the whole tree down.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my word, that's too funny.
So Val, what do you do? What's your big thing when it comes to decorations?
Oh my word. Well, I've learned from many moms and many teachers and just many people, thankfully. And I've been able to retain it. Some things that they suggested was, give them their own tree, like a small tree. Yeah. But then, and then another mom said, buy them only like stuffies, things that are like cloth or not Velcro.
Yes.
Felt, those kind of things. And that's what I did. So for the past, 2 years, I've been collecting a whole bunch of just, I don't know, my son's into superheroes, so Maddie's into princesses, so just a whole bunch of cute little things that are stuffs that I can just hang up on the tree, and they get to do their own tree, and it's super easy. So they kind of leave my tree alone.
So you have your tree.
Yes, I have mama's tree, and then you get the kids' tree, and that's it.
And you get the design of the year kind of thing going, or do you have something similar each year?
Every year is kind of the same. I may add on little things that they made throughout the year and make it into like a craft or something. But other than that, things that they've made at school, for example, for Christmas, I'll hang those up now. Like I'm finally getting a collection here and there. But other than that, it's just been, yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to say minimalist to a degree, but I like to hang things around. So I guess it wouldn't be considered minimalist. It would just be, it's all over the place. I have like wedding crafts. I have, I guess, I don't know. I'll take a picture. It's really.
Well, I remember you used to, and I don't know if you transitioned away from this now, but you used to do like expressions on your walls. And so I would think that would make it challenging for decorating. But
with words and
yeah.
I started hanging cards. That's been my new thing. That's what.
Okay.
There you go. So I have some cards around.
So Jenna, what do you guys do? Tree?
We do a tree.
Okay. And
it's a real tree because I'm stubborn and I refuse to do a fake one.
I'm actually ready for the fake one, but that's totally okay.
we do a fake one.
That's funny. So go ahead, Jenna. What do you guys do?
I have usually the kids help me decorate the tree, which is, it's fun, but at the same time, for me, I'm like, okay, I can't be controlling. Just let them put the ornament where it needs to go.
Right. So that it's actually fun and it's not mama being grumpy.
Right. Not being a perfectionist. So like there's too many in one spot. But yeah, it just, and then of course, like the important ones of like, we have a couple ornaments, like a family pictures, or, we try to do those every year. Mm-hmm. Not the family pictures, but it's like the little snowman family with their name and the year. Mm-hmm. Started doing that. And we kind of put those up at the top. But yeah, I think just like with me growing up, decorating the tree was always something special. Like I would go with my dad and pick out the tree. Mm-hmm. And so we do that with our kids. And, it's just a fun thing to do, to go pick out the tree. We just go to the store because we're in Southern California. So
right. So it's much harder to go try to find a tree.
Yeah. But
when you guys got to Wisconsin, didn't Jason hack down a tree at first?
The first year we did. The first year we were able to go to a farm and do that. And then after that, honestly, the weather is what turns us off to that. So we ended up buying big trees because
it's too painful. It doesn't mean that much.
Yeah, I'm like, I'll buy the candle that smells like pine. So.
There you go.
Yeah.
And maybe later on, as the kids get older, then there'll be a tradition. But yeah.
Okay.
It's too cold.
The dream is to send DJ and Jason out on their own, right? So they don't have like the guys time to go hunt down the tree.
Yeah.
So do you guys have any decorations that are uniquely what people would refer to as like Christian decorations? I mean, some people think of the tree that way. I don't think, I think of it as a, almost like an overgrown plant in your house that just looks pretty. But
yeah,
what are some decorations you do that might be uniquely Christian?
I think.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So bad.
No, I think that's funny because I think a lot of people just assume, right? Or is there something that you think somebody might interpret as Christian that you don't actually think of that way?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of those things. I mean, I'll definitely say Merry Christmas. I have a dry chalk erase board over my mantle up on my fireplace there that I'll switch it out, like so blessed or grateful, thanking God, or just something like that. But I guess maybe I'm just used to that. I don't know. I guess.
Do you guys do nativity scenes
with the kiddos?
I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with the little ones. I have a little one for them.
With the little ones, then it's probably one that's like easier and can take a beating.
Yep.
My kids actually played with ours. Like they would have like, Mary and Jesus talking to the donkeys.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
See, a lot of people make us a huge assumptions about what believers in Christ, what we have in our homes at Christmas. Now, I do candles that we light up because we like to read Bible verses leading into Christmas. And so, because I try to keep my kids' brains wrapped around that in spite of everything. Mm-hmm. And so we'll have like little readings from John or Luke that we're reading, usually Luke, that we're reading leading into Christmas, like once a week kind of thing. And then we light a candle, kind of almost like Advent candles, but not totally sticking with that tradition.
Okay.
I told you I adopt everybody's stuff. Did not grow up Catholic, but there it is. And then Yeah. And then do you guys do like advent calendars or things like that?
I started one last year with the kids. I got one of those closet, like the shoe organizers, and hung it up on the door.
Oh yeah.
And then I did little clipboards, or not clipboards. What are those? Clothespins, those wooden clothespins. And we stuck numbers on all of them. And then inside each of the pockets would be something for the kids to do. So that was one that a mom suggested. I'm like, yes. And the kids loved it. So we'll definitely be doing that again this year.
Oh, that's funny.
Forward.
Jenna, do you guys do anything like that or no?
I don't think yet, just because now that they're 3 and 2, they're a little bit older
Fair
to
enough,
start to do that.
Yeah. One of those, do they get it? I don't think they get it. Let's not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. DJ just got it last year. So he's like, oh. And Maddie was like, I just want to eat candy. So hopefully this year she'll get it a little bit better.
That's funny. Yeah. I think we probably started doing the whole read through and candles. So we didn't do that when they were little. I think we did that when they were, I want to say at least around elementary school. Like they may have both been in elementary school when that clicked for me to do.
Yep.
So now, do you guys have any traditions that are big in your family?
In our immediate family, we Jason wakes up Saturday mornings and he will do breakfast for everybody.
Oh yeah.
He will give us like the whole spiel. We'll do pancakes, fruit, whatever, sausage, bacon if people want, and we'll either invite a family throughout a couple weekends.
This is something you guys do all throughout the year, right?
We do the morning breakfast every Saturday morning. Like we had somebody this morning, but for Christmas we extend it, and then we also do it for dinner. So we always have extra invitation for like the nomads that need somewhere to go for food.
The nomads.
That's what, yeah.
Are we talking about like the single mom or
anybody that doesn't
people
have
without extended family there
close by? Yep, anybody, including kids are welcome. Like they want to.
The nomads.
Yeah, the nomads. So, terrible. But yeah, Jason will do a huge spiel. We will sing songs. We'll watch corny movies. Sometimes I'll even extend Hocus Pocus into Christmas just a little bit. And then we'll do the whole traditional, the Home Alone. We'll watch our 4 movies, something Jason and I watch probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks out of the entire month. We'll watch Family Man with the Nicolas Cage movie. He cries all the time. It's a good movie. And then we'll definitely eat a lot. We drink a lot of hot cocoa during that month. But
yes, that is the allowed hot cocoa month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's coconut milk.
DJ's got a lot of energy in him, correct?
DJ, yes.
So, and Maddie maybe too, but it's I'm thinking hot cocoa may or may not be your friend sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. But yeah.
So Jenna, what about you guys? Do you guys have any traditions that are really big for your family?
I think we've moved around a lot in the last few years. So recently, we had moved to Fresno, which is about 3 hours away from our family. And so we were out there and we kind of didn't know anybody. So that's why, like, when Val says she invites people over, like, we were that family that was like, oh, we don't have anywhere to go. And so we just appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
But now we're back in Southern California and we live closer to our family. So now it's just a matter of like, okay, whose family are we going to? And just trying to figure that out. But I think one tradition that we are trying to do is, like, my parents have like a prime rib for Christmas Eve.
Prime rib.
Yeah.
Yummy.
And then Christmas Day, we wake up and we have breakfast and do presents with the kids. And then my parents come over and my brother, and then we open gifts there. So that's been kind of our tradition. But yeah, we watch A Christmas Story. I always make everybody sit down and watch that.
Yeah.
There you go. That's my husband's favorite movie. The girls actually haven't seen it, only because I can't seem to find it anywhere.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of those. My husband grew up in Michigan, so He's like, yes, that was me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, that one, and then Christmas Vacation is always.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my word.
Oh my goodness! I'm just picturing some mamas going, "Oh, the pastors' wives." Do they? That's just it. That you don't ask these questions, and people don't realize that we're regular folks, and you do your regular thing.
Yeah,
that's funny. Yeah.
I forgot the one movie that we do watch. Absolutely every single time Christmas morning, Godfather. That's one that we watch.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Really? For real?
For real.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we bake a big thing of cookies the night before. So for breakfast, the following morning, we put on the Godfather and we eat cookies while we watch the movie.
I'm trying. My brain is trying to imagine, why the Godfather? What drew you to the Godfather for Christmas Day?
Ever since Jason and I started dating, because I've always been into gangster movies when I was younger. I mean, this is going to sound terrible, but when I was younger, I grew up watching Scarface. I grew up watching
Well, were you in downtown LA then?
Me? No.
When you were younger?
No. I lived in where was I? In Michigan. I lived in Michigan when I was little.
There you go, Michigan. Yeah.
Okay. I also lived 2 years in New York with my mom and my dad when they first moved out here. But for whatever reason, Scarface was one of my dad's favorite movies at that time. So I figured I sit and join in, and it turned out to be one of my favorites. I didn't watch the whole movie. He would fast forward through some things, but I remember just sitting there with him, and I just loved that part. Say hello to my little friend, and we just that was just our line that we would.
My brain is now going through quotes from The Godfather. Taking the mattresses.
Yes, and then Jason and I, we just always, since we hung out together, we put in he had the trilogy, and I'm like, let's watch this, and it just kind of started this tradition. And every year for Christmas, that's what we do.
So in a way, it's kind of an homage to when you were a little kid.
To both, yeah. And he likes gangster movies. We just now made it into a holiday. So.
Well, and with 7 services, it's not like you guys are not focusing on Jesus.
We have he reminds us daily. Yes. He's there. Yes.
That's so funny. That is so different from what we do.
Yes.
I was like,
yep.
You guys. Okay. So here, my big thing is, I like Christmas Day to be like an actual relaxing day for me. So, I prep ahead of time to be able to have things like appetizers or whatever that I can pop in the oven that take 10 minutes, and they're fully done, and bam, I didn't really do much effort. And then, I'll have cheese and meat and crackers and different things like that on trays that I sit out on the counter, and they're on top of ice packs. And I'm like, okay, people, you're good, right? Because I will do the fancy dinner usually, depending on how our schedule is with church, because we like to serve and help out, and we volunteer now. So we volunteer in a bunch of different places. We will have a family meal of a dinner where Tim really, really likes to have his Christmas ham.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is funny because I'm not a big ham person, but I'll do it for him once a year. And then, so I put a lot of effort into that, and then pull back and go, okay, I'm not working at all on Christmas Day. So that's totally pull back, totally go the other way. But yeah, and our family, our big thing is we do the Advent calendar, but do you remember what I wrote the book, 25 Days Till Christ? Do you remember that one, Val?
Yes. You sent that last Christmas.
Yeah. So anyway, I was going through that, and I was trying to figure out ways to create some kind of an Advent experience that would be uniquely Christ, but still goofily fun for Advent, right? And came up with the idea of a kiss calendar.
Oh.
And the idea was, it's like a do-it-yourself. You make it, and I've actually gotten it much more expansive in what it is now. Once it was just like these, it was all wrapped in plastic wrap. It was all wrapped in plastic wrap, and they were individually twirled in the plastic wrap, like some people do for necklaces sometimes. Now I've done bags, or we have a Christmas tree type shape that Tim made out of wood, and hang these little bags that are numbered on it. like their ornaments.
Oh, I love that.
And literally just buy a couple bags of kisses, candy kisses, and pop them in the little baggies. And then I have these Bible verses that I hunted for like crazy when I was making the book. And so now I just copy paste from the book. But
that's awesome. Oh, I love it.
But yeah, I'll like stick it on the copier, hit it up and cut them up. And then so each day gets a Bible verse, right? So the kid, and I teased the girls back when they were little. It was kiss day, but it was like they got to eat their candy kisses, but then they had to give mom and dad a kiss. Right? So it was the kiss calendar. So every day they would get their candy kisses. They would give mom and dad a kiss, and we would read a Bible verse. And that's the main way we tie in Christ to the whole experience. Yeah. But
I love that.
Do they still do that?
They actually, what's funny? Oh. So people are really funny when it comes to habit. I thought for sure that they would get older and they would get done with it.
Yeah.
And what I've learned now as I'm, older mom, is that those things that you start doing, they become treasured memories, right? Just like the Godfather.
Yep.
For real, right? Yes. So they become your treasured memories. And so what happens is, even as they've gotten older, like I've said, you guys are probably done with this right now. It's, but they're going, Mom, it's free candy and I'll give you a kiss. Are you kidding? So they love it. They get a kick out of it still. I keep thinking it's going to be done. Even some cheesy stuff that we've done. I'll tell you about that in just a sec, but stuff we do on Christmas Day that I just really profoundly became the weirdo about Christmas Day one year, and it stuck. And so we do this. I'll tell you about that in just a sec. But I want to find out. So we've talked about some of the traditions. We've talked about your decorations you do. Are there foods that are the big ones for Christmas? What are some of your big foods?
We eat a lot of guacamole to represent the green part.
Seriously, how do you get good guacamole in Wisconsin?
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. So Jason, when he and I started to date, he never ate avocado. And, me being the Latin side we have to have sauces for everything that we eat with. So we can dip
yum, absolutely.
So one thing that my mom, we grew up with was the three salads. And one of them is a red salad, a green salad, and the white salad. And the green salad's always just avocados and, salsa mix, but it's avocado, guacamole. And
that's how I make my guacamole, actually.
It's all so good. It's so good. And we make it a little spicy, so it's perfect. And then the red sauce the red salad is beets with some, I think it's a little bit of mayo, some onions, and potatoes. And then the white salad is a lot of potatoes, different kind of styles of potatoes.
Okay, I was totally curious where white salad came in. I get it now.
It's all potatoes, onions, eggs, depending on what you want on it. And you just dip it in either with, chips or tortilla. We even eat ceviche with it a little bit. And that's kind of what we had to celebrate. But Jason just loves the guacamole, so he'll just eat in this. So that's one thing that we have to have.
I'm totally, and this is probably not right, but I'm totally picturing this like gigantic bowl of guac.
It's pretty accurate, Paula. We love our guacamole.
So those are like the main foods you got to have. Like everything else is adaptable, but those are the got to haves.
And the chocolate chip cookies, of course. Yes.
Okay. Not gingerbread, not other chocolate chip cookies.
We're not into gingerbread. It's always been chocolate chip cookies, maybe some cinnamon rolls if we feel like it. But other than that, guacamole.
So Jenna, what about you guys? What are some of the big foods in your family?
Tamales, number one. We have to have those every year. And those are like, man, you eat those for dinner and lunch, and then in the morning you fry them with some eggs for breakfast.
Wait, what? You fry them with eggs for breakfast?
Yes.
Okay. I have to ask this because I adopt everybody's stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So, how do you fry a tamale, first of all?
You just throw some oil in the pan and you fry it.
It doesn't like pop like crazy because of the moisture in the corn on the outside?
Yes, but it gets crispy also. So it's like a crispy, and then with the egg, it's just a good texture thing.
Oh, that sounds so. I miss good tamales out here.
I'm sure.
Oh.
Yes, it's almost like, I mean, if you can find a friend who has a Mexican background and makes tamales, that's the fun part if they make them. Does your family make them, or do you go buy them at Vallarta or something like that?
With tamales, it's really like a particular thing. Not everyone makes them that great. And like when you're especially used to eating them, like with them having a certain taste, I guess, and there's only one right way to do it. And you have to do it yourself. It's a ton of work though, but it's fun too, because then it's fun to get like a group of people and everybody each has their own station and kind of helps put them together.
Yep.
See, I've never been to a tamale party where people are making those. And if you ever want to invite me.
They're a ton of work. So it's very helpful to have people.
Very yummy.
What are the flavors you put in your tamales? Because I know I've experienced various flavors. What are the flavors?
We are more basic. We do the cheese and green chili. Those are my favorite. And then we do the pork. And then we do the beef with red chili. The pork is with green chili, and then the beef is with red chili.
Do you do sweet tamales as well, or not so much?
No, we don't.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's one of my things that I've been exposing my family to is we'll go to Vallarta and we'll get something, and my husband's so funny. He's like, "Why are we becoming Mexican, Paula?" My Michigan husband.
Yeah. So funny.
He's just happy with his ham. But it's so funny because he's like, is that becoming a new tradition? Are we doing that? I'm like, I don't know. It's just fun.
Well, this year we're going to be Mexican, and next year we'll do something else.
That's right. Well, that's why I call myself a great American mutt. I just adopt everything. It's actually not quite that crazy looking around my house. It doesn't look like we've adopted everything, but I just love everybody's different things they bring to the table. So I have to ask you, ladies, do you do Santa? Okay, wait, I'm going to let the mamas know that this is not, if people tend to have their podcast going that with the kids around, this is a moment where you may not want the kids to be around, because see, in my family, I tell Santa it's okay to leave us. So my question is, does Santa come to your home?
I'll let you go first, Jenna.
Well, for us, I mean, since our kids are still small, we really haven't explored that too much yet. It's kind of difficult because I grew up Catholic, and my parents are like priesters, where they only go to church on Christmas and Easter.
Oh, that's
Yep.
So they do the whole Santa thing, and they give my kids presents from Santa. And we haven't gotten that far of what to explain to them. Or, it's a hard subject, because you don't want to tell your kids that there's no Santa, and then they go to school and ruin everybody else's dreams.
Yeah, that can happen. I'll have to tell you about that.
So I guess we just really haven't nailed down like a specific plan of how we're going to approach that.
Okay, yeah. It's tough. It's tough to figure out, like, what do you do with that? So Val, when you're looking at trying to figure out what to do, have you guys been talking about what you want to do with the whole Santa thing with your kids, or you're still trying to figure it out?
We're still trying to figure it out. I want to be able to be honest with him and gear his mind towards, this is Jesus' birthday. Like, we go big on birthdays. We celebrate the births much more than we celebrate the holidays. Christmas is a time to get together. Christmas is Jesus' birthday, so we try to make it like, he wants us to love him and love others. So this is a huge celebration, and everybody gets into it, but everybody may not understand how we celebrate it. We will celebrate it in this way. So
it's just walking the line of trying to be real with your kids, but compassionate with your friends.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean, I'm almost to the point, I'm like, should I just tell him? And if his friends say that they believe in Santa, be like, that's awesome. And then don't say anything else.
Right. That's the hard part. Yeah. So okay. You want to hear my story? So I did Santa. I grew up with Santa. I remember, and I've had this argument in some ways with folks, so please understand it's just my story. But I remember when I was younger and I realized that my parents were tricking me. And it bugged me. I think it bugged me more than maybe it bugged some other folks. And it made me, in part, question their honesty on a bunch of other stuff too. So when I was growing up, past figuring out the whole Santa thing, we moved to Arizona. And because I figured out Santa at like 8 or 9, we moved to Arizona, and I discovered that my aunt and uncle did this thing where they did birthday cake for Jesus. And I had never heard of this. It was so bizarre. And my mom wasn't into, doing that herself, but I kind of tucked in the back of my brain the idea of, when I have a kid, I want to try birthday cake for Jesus. Right. So one of the big things, as Tim and I were talking about what we would do and how we would do things, basically I said, I really, really want to celebrate Jesus' birth. I want that to be the big thing. And yes, we're going to have presents, and yes, we're going to do this stuff, but I really want to figure out how we can do Jesus first. And so the night we started doing this, I can't remember how old the girls were. I got bigger as it went, as far as my ability to decorate. But I literally would hang streamers like Christmas Eve and put up like a happy birthday sign and the whole thing for Christmas Day. And then I had made like a coffee cake kind of thing that we did. We did like birthday games-ish. So the very first thing, yes, the kids could see they had stockings. We did stockings. We did all that. We just didn't explain it. We didn't give it a purpose. The kids were like, yeah, we have stockings. And then what we did is, first thing was always, okay, we're going to celebrate Jesus' birthday. We're going to sing happy birthday to Jesus. We're going to have our birthday to Jesus cake. And we would read the story as a family. And then we would go and have our own presents and do our own thing. And what lit up my heart, because I had friends telling me that this was a bad idea. I'm destroying the mystery of Christmas. I'm, all this stuff. I had one year, I will never forget, Bethany waking me up at like 5 a.m. on Christmas Day, jumping up and down next to the bed. She's maybe 3 or 4, and she's going, "Mommy, get up. It's Jesus' birthday. Mommy, get up. It's Jesus' birthday."
Oh.
And I just, what? That's for real?
Oh.
And yeah. And what's really interesting about that is they're older now, and we joke around now. Now we've transitioned. They totally know. And we talked about St. Nicholas because they saw Santa everywhere. I even, did the whole Google search on what's the real story of St. Nicholas, and just kind of said Santa serves Jesus, kind of like you said, Val. Santa serves Jesus, and Santa wants everybody to know Jesus. And Santa is St. Nicholas. Now, I never told my kids the words "Santa is dead."
Oh wow!
I never said that. It didn't, I wasn't trying to make that a connection. And yet there was, in fact, one year, I think it was like 2nd grade or something like that, where Bethany informed her class that Santa is dead. And a couple kids cried. And she came home, "Mommy, what did I do?" And it was one of those, I didn't know, I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
I thought we had talked about, something other people don't know. This is a special secret. So it's one of those, darn it. Wasn't trying to do that. And yet at the same time, I don't think I would take back what we've done. We joke around about it now. Now, Tim is like, "Santa's going to fill those stockings, and he says, "Are you going to leave a cookie for Santa?" And he's like pointing to himself. "You're going to leave a cookie for Santa?" and I'm going, "And don't forget the reindeer." That would be me. So, that's like the family joke. Santa brought you some stuff for the stocking, and don't forget his reindeer was there too. So that's where, we transitioned, and now it's like a family joke, and they can see all that stuff, and they can appreciate and be silly with it and all that. Just like when you realize and your eyes are going, "Oh," and you still get silly.
Yeah.
It's just, it's funny. They actually still want to have the birthday cake for Jesus. They still want to.
That's awesome.
They still want to do some of the silly birthday games that we do in the beginning before they open their presents. And yeah, they're curious. I'm sure they shake the presents. I'm sure they, check things out. But at the same time, they like doing that first. It's become tradition, and like The Godfather, we want to do it.
I think it's kind of hard for me because, like I said, I didn't grow up, I guess, in a Christian family.
Right.
But so when we were younger, we had like our godparents would send us food for the reindeer, which is just basically like sparkles and glitter and like like confetti type of stuff. And we would
with sparkles or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we would go out and throw it out on the lawn at night for the reindeer to eat. And so, stuff like that where you're like, oh, that's such a good memory.
Yeah. And it's just silliness. Yeah.
Yeah. But then you're like, but now I know like the truth about Jesus, and what do I teach my kids about this without confusing them?
Right. I think what was really funny was when Bethany told me that as she was learning about traditions of Santa from different countries. I can't remember what country it is. I want to say the Netherlands, but I might be wrong. And if Trisha is listening to this, she's in the Netherlands, so she can tell me if I'm right or wrong. There's something about Santa Claus, and there's a different name that the idea is that if you're bad, Santa will kidnap you and take you away.
Oh my God.
And so it's like, and Bethany's like, Santa's a stalker.
Wow. Yeah. Not something we want to tell.
No. Yeah. It's so funny, like the different traditions that are out there.
I would like to know the traditions out there. That's just funny.
They do that. Like, I don't know if I'm sure every school has their own thing, but that was part of, I want to say first grade was about learning some of the different Christmas traditions around the world. And probably what they were a while back, because I'm thinking some of them have, they don't necessarily all worship and practice the same ideas. Sometimes it's become like the cultural joke too, kind of like, sparkles on the lawn for the reindeer. But so it's just kind of funny how we come up with these things, but it's tough because then there's the whole question when somebody says, well, Christmas isn't really Jesus' birthday, right?
Right. Correct.
And so that becomes, it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
That was the church was guessing, and the church decided to do that as a conscious choice against what was going on in culture there. There were some kind of crazy wackadoodle things going on in culture, and they said, let's make it about Jesus instead.
Yeah.
And you could easily do, Jesus' birthday in summer. That would totally be fine.
Right. I'll be good with that.
So now, if you had a chance to talk with some moms and they're trying to figure out what's going to go on, because each of you have a whole bunch of moms you connect with. And what would you want to tell them about Christmas and just kind of giving them freedom within their culture, within their experience? What would you want to say to them about Christmas?
I think for me is just tell it like us. We're still trying to figure it out, and just being still in the moment and taking it moment by moment and not putting so much pressure on yourself to have these traditions and be that, Pinterest mom or that social media mom that has everything together. So it's just like, for me, we're still trying to figure out what our traditions are and, just growing as a family and seeing what works, what doesn't work. I don't know. I think that it's just, don't compare yourself to other moms during Christmas. And
well, you have a blended family too, right? So, I mean, what you guys come up with at your house and what Juan's other kids do, they don't necessarily always coincide, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, so figuring out what is wise for your family where you are.
Yep.
Some people just they don't like Christmas that much anymore because there's so many expectations and people get grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the thing is too, like with us being a blended family, their mom is not a believer. And so it's kind of hard because they live with their mom and they have just a different culture than we do.
Yeah.
And so just trying to teach them that it's not about them and not about the gifts.
Yep.
And, when they come to our house, it's kind of, it's just a whole different world for them, but also just giving them grace towards that and adapting to that too. It's challenging.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Val? What would you say to some mamas about Christmas?
Make your own.
Yeah.
Make your own stuff up. Whatever works for you and your kids, whatever makes sense, let that be your own tradition. Make your own. I think traditions in general can add so much stress, or you have to fit within a mold. And, like how you said earlier, Jenna, just, the Pinterest mom, like,
oh yeah,
we try to strive for this idea, but I think it goes in all holidays. I mean, or even owning a house or buying what in the grocery store or the outfit that you wear, whatever it is, just make
the
it
expectation.
Your own. Yeah, just make it your own. Make it your own. I mean, we're all, I think, trying to do our best, but when reality hits, it's okay to be on the ground eating Cheerios with your kids and just reading them whatever the story is and making it up, and just, if you have to say Jesus did this, adding to it so they can at least understand the goodness of whatever story. Comic, I mean, I do that with my son's comic superhero stories, and I'm like, yeah, and Jesus hung out with the best of them, type of thing, and I just throw him in there sometimes. He's like, wow, Jesus rules. I'm like, yeah, he kind of does. So,
well, and I've thought about this a bunch. I've thought about what, if I'm looking at God and I'm saying I'm accountable for everything I do, what's he going to think about? Is he going to be upset at me for doing Santa? I don't think he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to go, shame on you, you did Santa. It's
right.
Yeah. It was just my own background, my own thing, trying to figure out,
Yeah.
We compare ourselves so much, don't we?
It's the mom kryptonite, I think we have.
Oh my gosh. Well, especially with like social media and Instagram and Snapchat. And,
when you got to know everybody's got their Christmas pictures out when when they're hearing this, the Christmas pictures are out and everybody's smiling and everybody looks good. Nobody shows the one where the baby was screaming.
I'm going to start that tradition. I'm going to just start that trend. Why?
Where nobody's looking.
Yeah, the hashtag nobody looked, but this is the picture.
Yeah. All the Christmas cards come out and you always tell, you don't want to tell people in the note to the family how, we had gazillion bills and it was really, because you don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yep.
But
all my pictures will be blurry or with some kind of profanity in it. It'll be that's what it is.
Because just because you're from a pastor's family does not mean you don't mess up. It doesn't mean you don't,
Those are words. It's not,
Exactly. Exactly. If we can just bless the mamas with be you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, if you stuck with us to the end, I want to thank you for sticking around. We are going to take a pause for the Christmas season. I'll be putting some information about past episodes. If you've missed any and you want to check out things because you're missing your Bible momming while it's the holidays, please feel free to check out what we've done in the past. If you missed the episode about pies, then check it out. We actually did in my family make 50 pies for 50 states, and we have got some great recipes for you over at BibleMomming.com. I hope you have an amazing holiday. You have been such a blessing to me, to my family, to the various people that have had the opportunity to be on the show. We will be starting again for our next season in January, and I'll be letting you guys know. If you are not part of the newsletter, get on our newsletter, or feel free to get into the Bible Momming Facebook group. I would love to see you there. And if by some chance you feel so inclined to help us out at this little podcast, it does take effort, takes money, takes people, takes time to make these podcasts happen for you. So if you by some chance have a little spare change at the holidays, I know that doesn't happen often, but if you do, please give a donation. Go to paypal.me/BibleMomming. That's paypal.me/BibleMomming. Merry Christmas to you all, and be you. I've enjoyed this time we have together. I know you have plenty of things to do and many options, so thank you for listening. Remember, love is patient, love is kind, and that is never more real than in our families. God bless you and have a great week.